This is recurring foods part 2. There was some items that I didn't cover in the initial recurring foods section, so I'm going to go ahead and cover those in this video. So for starters, I have an entire meal that is based off of recurring foods. So you can see that in the meal settings. I have the checkbox use only recurring foods for this meal. That means that it won't pull anything else into the meal unless it is a recurring food for that meal type. This isn't just recurring foods for your entire day. This is only for that meal. And to see those recurring foods, you can come into any one of the ingredients, any one of the foods that's in here that you see has this little pin. That means that it's recurring. So edit, you can click on that pin, or you can click on the ellipses. There's multiple ways to get to this and say set recurring food. This will show you the meal type that it's for, the frequency that it's set for. This is specifically talking about the microfactor daily nutrition packs that I use. This is what I have as a set quote unquote food, and it has the units. And then you just add to meal and you would see that it was pop up down here. So for my supplements meal type, I have all of these items in here as recurring foods. And this meal type will only generate these foods, and it will generate these foods every single time that I refresh a meal plan or have it recreate a meal plan. So this helps me keep track of all of my supplements that contribute to my macros and my total calorie count. You can also add foods. This is something I didn't cover in the last video. You can add foods to recurring foods to a meal that is not based strictly on recurring meal type. So here's what I mean. So this is my dinner. You'll notice that all the foods that I have in here are recurring. Here's how I do this. So the meal itself does not only use recurring foods. What that means is that the calculator will pull in other ingredients to fill your macro needs while also using the recurring food that you have set. So if I have something that I want to have for a particular meal, like for dinner this week, for 4 days, I wanted to have chicken, rice, and baby greens for dinner every single day for 4 days. That's what I wanted my dinner to be. If you had just chicken breast in there, it would then probably pull in something else depending on the complexity of the meal, which you can see I have set to, I can cook for 30 minutes. It's complex, so it would probably pull something else in there for me. So let me show you what I mean. So we're going to go in here and you can see that I have recurring foods set for dinner. It's these 3 things. But let's say I just want chicken. I'm going to remove rice. I'm going to remove mixed greens. I'm going to say close. I had added this in a last video, so I'm going to go ahead and remove this from the meal, and I'm going to have it regenerate the entire day. Give it a second here. And boom. So we come down here, we can see that it has chicken breast because I have that as a recurring food, and it has brought in vegan tuna. So it's probably not a real tuna, but it's pulled in an additional item into dinner along with my recurring food. So you have a meal type down here that is only recurring foods. That's all that it will generate every time for that meal. And I have a meal up here that is using both a recurring food and a non-recurring food.